Hello, everyone. Happy last day of the legislative session. This is Jonathan Juarez Alonso, the policy lead for Youth United for Climate Crisis Action, or YUCCA, and I'm here with a pretty brief end of session report. So just recapping what is going to the governor's desk and what was killed in committee. For those of you who have been living your lives and very fortunate to not have to pay attention to all of this. So the proposed budget for our next fiscal year is $8.5 billion. That is a 14% increase from our current spending, and that also eliminated all spending for hydrogen hubs, which is really important for the environmental communities because that's something that we've spent a lot of time and effort fighting against during this legislative session. So, some important bills that are heading to the governor's desk. We have HB 37, the SEED Act, or the Community Energy Efficiency Development Act. And this is providing grants to low-income families so that they can also participate in the transition to a green economy, because we recognize that energy efficient upgrades to houses and your everyday lives aren't necessarily cost friendly. And so this is, really opening the door for everyone to be able to participate in that transition. So next we have HB 164, the Uranium Mine Cleanup Act. This is especially important for people from tribal communities like myself, who I come from the Pueblo of Laguna, where the Jack Pile uranium mine, which at one point was the largest uranium mine in the world, is still being cleaned up to this day. And so this act is a very important first step towards addressing issues like that in tribal communities across our state. So next we have SB 140, which is the Opportunity Scholarship Act. And that is, really the governor delivering on one of her campaign promises of providing free college to every New Mexican student. And so this one, is just, opening that door through a new scholarship opportunity so that more thousands of New Mexican students can participate and, further their education. So some bills that we helped take down. These are bills that we advocated strongly against. We had the SB 194, the Additional Energy Act definitions. This essentially tried to redefine hydrogen as a renewable energy, which is very bad for obvious reasons, because it's not even an energy source and is extremely dirty, despite them trying to call it clean and renewable. And we also have HB4, HB 227, and HB 228, all of which were the Hydrogen Hub Development Act, and all of which saw a really united and really profound opposition from communities across the state, just rejecting hydrogen as a false solution. And so we're very happy to see all of these false solutions fail in their committees. And so, however, we do have some important bills that we've been monitoring that didn't make it out of their committees, and so we have our important bills that died. So we have HB 6, the Clean Futures Act, and that one was setting some really important emission standards for our state. We were pushing for some really important amendments to the bill, and we saw some of them adopted, not all of them, but either way, it still would have been an important first step and something that we can build upon in the future, but it died in committee, unfortunately. We also saw HJR and SJR too. The Green Amendment died in both the House and the Senate, unfortunately. This is, I think the second or third year that we've attempted to, pass a Green Amendment here, so it's really frustrating. We saw SB 14, the Clean Fuel Standard Act, that was stalled this morning in the House Judiciary Committee. And then we have HB 65, which is the Housing Modernization Changes Act, which was, providing protection for renters who are facing eviction during declared emergencies. All of these bills, though, unfortunately didn't make it. And another one that we added to this list is SB 8, or it was rolled into SB 144, that unfortunately was killed in a filibuster this morning, which is really frustrating. And so, what's next? We have March 9th. Any legislation that isn't acted upon by the governor will be pocket vetoed. And then the effective date for any legislation that she does sign into law will be May 18th, unless any of them carried an emergency clause or specified another date. But what's next for us is we're going to be doing a more comprehensive and in-depth collaborative legislative report back in partnership with SWAP, the Southwest Organizing Project, and the Pueblo Action Alliance. So that's going to be next Thursday, February 24th from 7 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. And the bit.ly link is right there, but it's just bit.ly/YUCCA reportback. If anyone is interested and has the time to join us next week, we really appreciate it. But yeah, that's just our really brief, quick and dirty report back on, what's heading to the governor's desk and what unfortunately didn't make it. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to listen.